Hi everybody. So there'll be less talking about process just because I don't know. But mostly we'll just be reading. But I'll start here. Santa Ana fires. I awoke from a nightmare in a cold, wet sweat to the burning of the Santa Ana fires. I was shaking and hysterical, and you held me as I cried myself to sleep, and then we awoke into ash. Dappled daylight through the smoke, I smoked outside in the summer-winter storm and wrote ash like falling snow. And then we went to breakfast. We had coffee next to a 6'4" blonde teenager with bandages on her nose. She was so tall I could barely see her face through all the clouds of gray, and I wondered if she could see me watching her, and if she did, she looked away. And then we drove. Through the hills and the valley in the fog of fire's cloak, the streets so vertical you fear you're falling, we drove and drove until we reached the coast. And then we stopped and we spoke. Laughing, telling jokes, watching birds fly low in order not to choke, and the fire it raged and raged through the hills until it eaten up half the coast. And then we made a boat. And we sailed as west as you can go, watching as behind us the world we knew went up in smoke. And I looked into your eyes and smiled, the smell of salt and rigging rope. For I knew the Santa Ana fires had burned my fear and left me hope. So that's kind of a... I grew up in Vancouver. I live in Los Angeles. The Santa Ana was part of a staple, and every once in a while, due to droughts, there's fires. And it was a weird morning because it was completely like it was like a whiteout, you know? And it's very hot for that kind of white. All right, here's the next one. My matriarchal mantra. I was raised on the rhetoric of women on stages that seemed like God to me. They sang songs of their souls, and I watched them from the crowd, wide-eyed and enamored. These women raised me. Emily Haynes, Kim Gordon, Lilith, Sylvia Plath, Laura Marling, Karen O, Aphrodite, Kathleen Hanna, PJ Harvey, Morgana Le Fay, Allison Wolfe, Artemis, and my mother at the center of the shrine for the holy female divine, where the whore and the mother are dead, and instead we raise up new icons built on their ashes. Mother Mary on the cross as Mary Magdalene does crosswords on the L train to Brooklyn, and Sophia the goddess of wisdom pulls coffee in Austin, and Callie is finishing her law degree, and Hera has divorced Zeus and is finding herself in Argentina, and Athena is opening an art installation at the LACMA this weekend. You should really go see it, although it's really kind of a knockoff of Rachel Whiteread's early work. Ishtar is taking a sexual studies degree at Berkeley that she'll never use. This one's called Immigrant Song. My grandfather's hands are strong, they work tirelessly fixing your watches. My grandfather's hands are strong, his immigrant hands will always be fixing your watches. He sits repairing your time, past or present, short or long. My grandfather's fingers are strong, and they'll always be fixing your watches. He moves forward the arms of time with his rusty bag of tools. He scrapes away all the grind and polishes metal anew. Your movement is broken, he says, that's why your clock won't take true. My grandfather fixes your watches, but he doesn't do it for you. All right. This is called Insect Fatality Forensic Department. So all these bugs keep on dying in my apartment. I even saw a dead lizard once, its gizzards displayed on the cold concrete like some perverse morgue for tiny animals. The spiders are the worst. Their 8 legs like hairy tentacles all curled up into a ball. I mistake them for black threads till it's too late, and I've smashed them to bits with my fingertips. I gotta figure out why they keep on dying. It isn't natural. Sooner or later, it'll be the cat or hell, even me, curled up into a ball, my bones calcified, face frozen in perpetual fear, slain by whatever unnatural horror is causing all this casual and unfeeling death. Maybe it's the maid? Who knows what kind of military-grade cleaning solvent she's using on the floors? Maybe the whole damn place should be quarantined. Maybe I should call the government and the news people, and they'll stand outside my apartment taking notes as they drag out my furniture piece by piece to have it incinerated, and I have to live out the rest of my days in a white room tied to a chair while men in hazmat suits spray me naked with a fire hose. I also cannot rule the idea that it might be paranormal as well. The dead bugs, I mean. Yeah, because that might be it. Maybe the old voodoo doll I brought back with me from Peru has some sort of demon in it put there by some bone-faced shaman in order to curse rich, white, touristic tourists who summer there by killing their pets. That makes sense. Either way, there's a lot of dead bugs around. Okay, this is called the Trans-American Junkie Relocation Program. We gotta move them out. Sure they do. How are we supposed to raise the rent with all these junkies about, like Memphis Mike with the Sharpie all over his face so he looks like Batman? I was drunk once and I let him up to my apartment. He said he could play the piano, and so I let him, and he could, although not very well. And the tin cans are worth a penny. We must make our neighborhood safe. Sure you must, of course. How are you supposed to attract young trust fund couples to the area without first making it safe enough for Starbucks and Restoration Hardware to move in and sell them things? In fact, Yolandi Graves does her makeup in a Starbucks Starbucks mirror every morning. The staff are actually pretty nice about it, so long as she doesn't drag her johns into the john and leaves before the office crowd arrives. And she wears cheetah heels and cherry lipstick, and she was born a man, and she doesn't have the money to be herself, and the plastic bottles are worth 5 cents. We must protect our children, and sure, why not, so long as they aren't born into poverty, forced into public schools that fail them, and thrown in jail because they're not children, then they're statistics. Like Ziggy, a neighborhood kid whose dad is dead, and his mom is a drunk, and he's huffing air conditioning coolant out of a plastic bag in the park, and smashing rocks through schoolyard windows, and getting arrested in strip parking lots. And he's happy his dad is dead, and he's sad that his mom drinks, and he wishes he could do better in school, but he can't. And the wine bottles are worth a nickel. But Ziggy knows that all too well. This is the last one. No, there's 2 more. Just build me a box. Build me a box to die in, old boy. Put my body in the deep. Let the worms eat up my flesh, my friend. Let the earth my body keep. I lived a good old life, they said. Now I deserve a sleep. I kept the bastards from the gates, they said. Let the poor boy go to sleep. I lived a life worth living, I'm told. I died with all my teeth. My family members wept and wept, bright red roses on my wreath. I never had a bad word to say to no one. I never liked to mock. If they only knew what I was thinking, boy, my box would have a lock. I think this is the last one. In the morning. I wake up in horror and anticipation, and my stomach aches. And it's because of the coffee and the million other things. Every morning I am born into a new day, crying like a newborn baby, helpless, lonely, and afraid in horror and anticipation. And the coffee is my mother, and the coffee makes my stomach ache. And it's the million other things that in the morning calls upon my heart to break. I am born into morning, out of darkness, nothing, I awake. And maybe yesterday happened, and maybe today will be different. And fathers, and cigarettes, the cigarettes are my father, and it makes my stomach ache. And I should probably eat something. And it's the million always things that in the morning call upon my heart to break. Like I said, the process part of it is a little bit minimal. I write on my iPhone all the time. It's great because you're traveling and you on my iPhone. Just in the notes, just little things. Because it's hard to maintain being a writer constantly when you got like things that and you're on the SkyTrain and you're on the thing, and so you can write into and you have these little notes, and those are little sparks for ideas. So when you go back and you really sit down to do it, you have this kind of list of little jump off points. You're not starting from you're not like, I'm sitting down to write now, I must come up with ideas. That's not kind of how I think ideas work. Idea works when you're getting hassled by someone and you're trying to put a thing, pay the thing, and you're like, maybe this is interesting. So yeah, that's about as much process as I have. So. Thank you. Thanks very much, guys. Oh, questions, I guess? Any questions?
How long have you been writing?
Well, I've been writing since I was 17. I didn't really take it seriously in my life till about a year ago. But yeah, I've been writing for about a
Can you
year.
read your last line again?
Oh, okay. Yeah. It's the million always things that in the morning calls upon my heart to break. Thank you very much. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.